Thursday, September 5th, 2019. We are looking at the mid-level water vapor imagery for North America. We're going to make a quick review on Hurricane Dorian. I believe they're saying it is a Category 3 hurricane at this point, and it just, I guess the eye just made landfall over South Carolina. Oh, it's wobbling. Now, what first we're going to take a note here is notice the core of this hurricane is turning counterclockwise, and then all this, everything else is on the outer edge is going clockwise, and this is all loaded with aerosols. We're going to get to that. Here we're looking at the cirrus band, and we can see this is all basically all around it. Even the eye looks like there's aerosols in here. I'm going to run this frame back a little bit more, then we're going to check back on it. Now I like to keep my videos short, straight to the point. I'm not like a shock jock looking for views and subscribers. But we can see all the aerosols. This is the visible feed. We got 24. We'll let that go to 48 too. And then we'll check a little closer. Here is from yesterday, just sitting off the coast. And as you can see, there's not the eye. There's not much of an eye, we'll put it that way. I got this centrifugal force, right? You know, like I keep bringing this up about how if something spins, like on a carousel, everything goes to the outside of the circle. All right, here's this morning, as we can see, the eye still not void. We can see all the microwave patterns through this. Now, especially over here in Georgia, look at this today. Look at all these aerosols. I'll zoom in a little bit. I mean, they are just feeding away. And I want to thank everybody who sent me pictures and follows me on Facebook and does that, because I got some great pictures from you guys. Now I'm in Western Maryland up here. And here's this flow. This is all aerosols left by planes. Look, you can see them going through still, right here. This is helping guide this storm. We've got installed high pressure. Look, we can see the microwave patterns in this lower level here. And then over South Carolina, look at all these aerosols, and look at all the microwave patterns. Microwave patterns, aerosols, aerosols, and then these plumes, like I've been talked about in the past couple videos. When this gets wrapped up around and gets sucked in, it feeds and creates these outer rain bands. This is just loaded, and once again you can see this. I mean, that is insane. Completely loaded. Now that we're talking, look, 3/4. Look at them all dark here. Now this is from the American Meteorological Society. Inadvertent weather modification. Now to me, it's not inadvertent or accidental anymore once you've acknowledged it. But down here they're talking about aerosols. Talking about airplanes and ship tracks and how they act as cloud drop condensation nuclei, CCN, cloud seed. Okay, and then this last sentence down here. In warm, moist atmospheres, aerosols often invigorate deep convective clouds, usually resulting in greater electrical activity, stronger damaging winds, and a greater likelihood of flash floods. Studies indicate that aerosols might also modulate the intensity of tornadoes and hurricanes. Aerosols. All this is aerosols. All this is aerosols. It's getting sucked in, and what's it going to do? Invigorate deep convective clouds and modulate the intensity of the hurricane. So, where were we at? We were just looking at this one. Here's the most recent feed as this wobbling square at times eye wall is about to make landfall. If you ask me, these sort of look like aerosol plumes too. Now let's stop this and see if we can zoom in here a little bit. It sure does look like these are aerosol plumes. Now let's hit play and just watch it. Maybe slow it down a little bit. It sure does look like a plane darted through there, or several. Okay. We'll zoom back out. You can still see the aerosols out here on the edge. Look, you can see these frequency patterns right here. I mean, it's blatantly obvious today. Now we'll look at the past 24 hours radar. We got all kinds of interference. Got this interference over the planes. This is, I'm not quite sure what that is. This is most likely from the wind farms. But then also this morning, for the third day in a row, we have this digital ping signature over England Air Force Base. And if you watched my past couple videos, you know what's there and what's causing that. These NEXRADs and PAVPALS units and other devices, they heterodyne and phase, and it creates this interference pattern on radar. Now we'll move to my Facebook. We'll cover some photos. This is from last evening, Florida, Fort Myers Beach, Cocoa Beach, Florida. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Robin. You see the aerosols. I mean, not that I even need to show you the pictures after. And look, this is Jacksonville. Pink skies last night. Thank you to whoever sent this to me in my last video on YouTube. And what else? Here's Tampa Bay. Thanks, James. South Carolina, 9:30 this morning, seeding away. What else? Oh, here's my sky, Cumberland, Maryland this morning, and these big plumes were artificially seeded. You can go through the shortwave and watch it. Actually, you can see it in the visible. You can see them going through it. South Central Florida, aerosol plumes. North Carolina, thank you, Sharon. That looks like, I don't even know what it looks like. And then these pink trails, dark trails, maybe carbon black. And then here's Cumberland. I took this photo. There's a halo, and there was two sundogs on both sides. I didn't notice until I already put my camera away, but this is all from spraying. Perturbations. There, I said it right. Controlling hurricanes through optimum perturbations. Now this is from 2006. And what's it saying here? Oh, a global weather controller will build upon future advances in several disciplines. Numerical weather prediction, observing systems, computer technology, space engineering, and system engineering. Computer technology. Advances in numerical weather prediction require advances in computer technology, nanotechnology, DNA computers, and quantum computing. I think we're about there. Pete Ramon, he's the nano guy. Numerical weather prediction uses mathematical models of the atmosphere and oceans to predict the weather based on current weather conditions. He says get the reading on the current conditions, feed that into supercomputer, run simulations of controlled perturbations of those current conditions, deploy perturbations into the atmosphere according to the preferred simulations, get reading on current conditions, repeat process, and that's how you geoengineer. Weather control through numerical weather prediction. As a TV meteorologist, my climate model is only forecasting the alleged development of current conditions, not the perturbations that can manipulate and control those conditions. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. And here's another good one. This is Ben Livingston. He was part of like Operation Popeye back in the day, and other projects, Storm Fury, all these. Let's see, what's it say here? He's a former Navy physicist who briefed LBJ on the effectiveness of weather control back in the 60s during the Vietnam era. This is a great and very telling interview. If you get a chance, watch this. It's about 40 minutes long, but you'll learn a lot. Other than that, if you're in South Carolina or the Carolinas or anywhere, please, if you're on Facebook, send me your photos and let me know the weather conditions. And of course, stay safe. But let me know if it's like hurricane, like 100+ mile-an-hour winds or not. This morning I did find something on Venture Sky that kind of was close. But, you know, it was just like a category 1. I believe it was 117 miles an hour is the highest reading I got. And I believe that was a gust. Well, let's turn that on, and then after that I'm done. Wind gusts stop. See what this is giving us. Look, 37 miles an hour. That's just a gust. But yeah, thank you everyone. A lot of information that I know is from Mr. Billy Hayes, and he was a former, he actually worked with this fellow too back in the day. But he's a former military contractor who helped build HARP and other similar devices around the country. And a good bit of what he has told me can be found in Alana Freeland's book, what's it, Under an Ionized Sky, from chemtrails to space fence lockdown. So I would recommend reading her books. Other than that, we will check back in at a later date.